So we have muscles here, we have bones here, we have some muscles in our palm, but we don't really have muscles in our fingers. So the way the bone is connected to the muscle is through so-called tendons. So the muscle is working, pulling on the bone through the tendon. Okay. I found that those exercises really strengthening those tendons. So we have tendon here, we have tendon here, we have ligaments on the side of the finger, right? And we have some muscles inside our palm. And I practice so many different exercises. I play so many, Chopin's etudes and all that stuff. But none of them really ever affected the sensation in those tendons, in those, just feeling on those, palm. I mean, my fingers would warm up and kind of maybe move a little bit faster and I feel maybe a little bit more stable. But I never had the sensation that I'm really getting strength and flexibility and kind of growing muscles, even though there are no muscles, but the feeling is like it's getting stronger. My hand is getting stronger. We have extensor tendons here, and that playing piano and staccato, it will create a nice healthy tension over here on the top of your fingers when you play really soft and really staccato. Also flexor tendons here, and this is what you train when you play forte staccato. You really feel tension here, and when you play forte legato, then you start additionally also affect the muscles in your palm. You will really start feeling nice over there. When you play, you play with correct sound imagination and with intonation and arm weight, and obviously correct movements. Because in the past I was shown those exercises as actually by a famous pianist as a big secret. And the exercise was playing staccato forte very slow. But when I started doing it, and I remember I was playing this Winter Wind etude by Chopin, number 23, A minor, and I was really going. And yeah, I mean, it would bring the blood to my fingertips, but at the same time, I would not feel comfortable here. And my, forearm, at some point I would just feel something is not right. Like there was this flexibility that would release this strange, unhealthy kind of tension in my hand. And of course we can play also staccato for a long time, but again, if staccato is not coming from, if we're not using arm weight and staccato is not coming from our internal singing, then just playing, staccato, that's the thing. Playing staccato and playing staccato could affect your hand muscles absolutely differently. Playing staccato, just without using intonation, arm weight and correct motion, maybe even sound imagination if you want to play piano or forte, will not train anything. It actually will be a waste of time. You see, but if you are imagining the sound, remember that sound imagination is reflected on our fingertips. If you execute staccato through actual internal singing using arm weight, we remember that intonation is actually how we control muscles through, tendons and hand muscle here in the palm. Then it's It's a completely different sensation, and because again you also not just playing with a static hand, you're actually making, you know, active and passive little rolls. That will ensure that whatever tension you accumulate before producing a sound, you will release it right away after playing a note. So this is very important, and again also playing, you know, forte and legato. Again, there's a different way. Of course, you can play connected and loud, and you will feel aching pain here right away. And it will actually might start creating also this horrible habit of keep pressing the key after you touched it. So again, for a long time, you wouldn't be able to play it for an hour this way without injuring your hand. But if you do it through sound imagination, this is working, intonation, arm weight, and correct motion. And again, you ensure actually that only this exercise really targeting exactly the muscles, exactly the tendons, the ligaments that we need to strength, not our entire body. You know, again, it's coming to the same topic we discussed in the book 1, when usually what's happening, we trying to play with compulsive tension in our body, when actually our arms and hands still remain kind of weak, because those inner small muscles, we cannot reach them, because we can only reach them through inner sensations. So that's the reason I don't actually start a retraining program with any technique exercises, because what you've done right now, it was only possible because you have the knowledge and skill by now of correct wrist and elbow motion, sound imagination, and sound texture, sound movement, and harmony, and the right dynamics, intonate between the notes, use arm weight when you play, you know how to intonate staccato, how to intonate legato exactly. Without this, you wouldn't be able to play as you do it now so easily. I would have to, you know, I wouldn't be able to teach you any of this. And even if you try to copy my movement, let's say I say, okay, we're gonna play connected, we're gonna play slow, we're gonna play loud, and we're gonna lift our fingers and try to also release tension after you press the key and move your hands for that. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You will end up just, you know, playing like this and experiencing so much tension here, and you injure your hands in a minute.
When you said this, I already have an unhealthy sensation in my hands.
Oof, oof, oof. Yeah. It's this banging sensation will be there. Yeah, so you can now start really appreciating and harvest, you know, your hard work in the past 6 months.
I can say that when you play with whole layers and with sound imagination, especially with arm weight, I experience the sensation that I call the room. I feel the room, the space for preparation. I feel I'm not overwhelmed, and I feel my focus can be prepared for the next note. And when I'm not trying to play everything beautiful, but I let myself play when I feel that this is right. When I don't feel this is not right, when I feel this preparation sensation, this is healthy, and I go.
In other words, you know how to control, and you only play when you're ready, and you have time to breathe. So the slower we play, the better the exercise is. And what do we do for that? How can we keep the same tempo?
If you concentrate more on your imagination, then you can it naturally slows you down.
All right, but now also, since we already learned about timing, we can also remember that we can just introduce this inner pulse and rhythm, this kind of meter pace to our feelings. And what I suggest is to use timing 1 and use 2 beats for 1 note. So, you're going to this kind of nature state, right? So you're using calm and peaceful timing. Down, down. And so when you play, you just keep focusing on timing as well. And that will help you, because when I try to do it without timing, I might kept focus for maybe 1 way up. But yeah, it's hard to keep it for like half an hour, And also this will really help with, you see, I mentioned, especially when we play Forte, remember again from book 2, it is important that when we play Forte slow, that we we lift our finger on end, But again, if you're gonna have 2 beats, so you can use the second beat for each note for raising your finger. So yeah, and the same with staccato. So that will help. Yeah.
When you raise the fingers, and when you go to the next note, do you experience the sensation like your fingers start a little bit going down, like through resistance, and then faster goes through the next note?
Exactly. And that resistance over here, slow motion, before we touch the key, that's your intonation. That's here. That's your resistance and intonation. That it creates this effect. Because if you just do this, good question, if you just do this, up, down, you're not training anything. That resistance that you experience through intonation, that resistance, it creates it. It's the same with, weightlifting. We're not lifting like this. We have to have weight to create resistance of weight. And only when we do that, then we really, exercise. So intonation here, when we sing with resultant resistance, it creates the same kind of a weight analogy, Just like with tempo, we said the slower you play, the better you will exercise your hands and fingers. It's the same with sound imagination. The softer or the louder you imagine, the better will be the result. So really make sure that when you play, okay, piano is fine, but when you play, let's say, Forte, you can make the exercise like this, it's okay. But now we're gonna increase the volume in our dynamics layer, in our sound imagination department, and look how much more powerful this exercise can be. Everything is bigger, so it's the difference between this you can see in movements and this, the tension in the fingers right before touching the key is much bigger, and because I'm using much more arm weight, the movements are bigger as well, so I could release the tension as well. So the same with piano, you can play piano and it's nice. But now let's reduce piano in dynamics. Oh God, I feel such a huge difference. Oof, so satisfied. I feel oof. And it also makes me, my fingers feel so independent, you know, it's really amazing if you do it correctly.
I feel when I play piano somewhere here.
Exactly. I was just about to say, I feel like every individual, my tendon all the way up here, not just here anymore, it's just oof. And the same with Forte, you know, if I play Forte, okay, but if I play real Forte, then when I extend my finger, I actually feel all the tendon right till here. So if I not imagining piano or forte, well, I'm imagining mezzo piano, mezzo forte, then I can only feel effect here or there. But if I'm really imagining a real fortissimo, real pianissimo, then this sensation extends all the way through my hand. That's the difference. So to go through all 4 exercises, piano staccata, forte legato, forte staccata, for 1 note in 2 seconds, that's gonna take time. Usually it takes me, if I really follow the tempo, usually it takes me 1 hour. And in the beginning, at least once, I suggest to play it with the sound on, but this is very painful for your ears, not only for your patients, but also for your ears and ears of your neighbors. So you can easily, after you already created this stable sensation of, yes, I know how to imagine each note in sound, texture, harmony, dynamics, maybe even voicing, like in scales and arpeggios I suggest, with sound movement, and it's very prominent inside you, you don't need the sound anymore, because now that sensation already affects the muscle sensations. So you can turn off the volume of the keyboard and practice on a silent piano. You can definitely do this. I do not suggest, I had those questions in the past, I don't suggest to practice it on the table, because you can, with these particular exercises you can easily injure these knuckles, because you need risura, you need this kind of flexible feeling that the key going down. Because I tried to do that when I didn't have access to my piano, and after 1 hour all these were aching, which never happens if you do it with the proper keys. But what you can also do, after let's say a week or 2 where you even feel so comfortable with that, and all those sensations goes to your muscle memory so much that you don't really even have to focus 100% on it, then you can introduce some other activity while you're doing this exercise. So because I have in the past focal dystonia, and I'm very also careful about in which state of mind and in which kind of, like, you know, mental state I'm practicing, I always need to know that I practice in the calm and peaceful state. In fact, if I am under stress or am very anxious, my focal dystonia would call me sometimes, and I was like, oh, hello friend. But I also know as soon as I, you know, stop and just relax my mind and solve the conflicts in my life, for example, that makes me feel stressful, then one day rest, I come back to the piano and it's like focal dystonia never happened. So I'm very, very aware, because of my experience, how our mental and emotional state affects our muscles. That's why when you want to introduce another activity while practicing this exercise, I really suggest, if you watch a video while doing it, I suggest watching a very relaxing video. For me, I always watch ASMR where people, talking in a very calm way, and it gives me this vibe, very beautiful kind of ecstasy, blissful state where I'm just kind of hypnotized and in a very calm state. So the point is, when you can make this exercise, it's true, and you can still focus on all inner sensations and feel inner pulse while watching something interesting on your phone. But it has to be something very calm and relaxing.
Yeah, understand. So this motivates you to spend your time more pleasurable while you do exercise.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a burden or obligation. It's something like, oh, okay, how about I'm gonna relax and watch my ASMR video, and actually let's make it productive and useful. I'm gonna exercise my hands while doing it. You see, like the focus is kind of different. It's shifting, to a pleasure. Think about it not as obligation, but as a pleasant meditation. Or whatever. I know you maybe don't resonate with meditation, but just you have to find this bigger reason behind it than just exercise my hands because I have to. Focus on something. For me, it's just okay. Let's have a mind time where I can connect with my deepest peace and actually feel so blissful and almost ecstatic about it. So absorb in all this process. And it's nice and it feels good, so I want to do it. My mind wandering, also when I watch a video, I am focusing on the video and kind of on the back of my mind, I'm focusing on all other sensations that require to play the exercise. But sometimes the thought will come, and I will think about, what I need to do, or my, discussion with this person, or my worries. Usually it's worries. We don't really think about good stuff much. So anxiety, worry will come in, and I will lose my focus. But that's okay, because as soon as I notice it, I came back right away. So it will be always on and off feeling. And also I know that I have to come back because I cannot allow myself to play completely without my participation, my conscious participation. So, because I will injure my hands. I'm very familiar with this. Just leave my focus for maybe even 5 minutes and I will start feeling aching sensations here. And as soon as I start feeling, it's like little alarm. Hello, Emma, come back. And I was like, sorry, I was out. And I continue playing, but it's basically this is how it goes in my mind. It will be impossible to keep focus for 1 hour in such a boring and slow exercise. Your mind will wander, but just make sure that you always remind yourself to come back. Yeah.
In my first attempts, I allowed myself play exercise, then I stand up and walk around, then go back and proceed further. But yeah, I see from your example, out of your example, I can see that it is possible to maintain for 1 hour that you play this exercise every day. This inspires me. Thank you.
Another thing to add here, to make it even more useful and more satisfying, I also include drinking water. I don't drink water much, but we discussed in the very first lesson that if you drink, let's say, 3 liters of water every day with a little bit of salt, then the next day the sensations in fingertips will be super energetic and active, and you will feel just so stable and powerful in your fingertips when you play. So to do that, I have to drink water. But it's impossible to remind myself during the day because I'm busy with other things. But drinking water is connected to, exercising my fingers in a way, to make me feel good in my fingers. I include it, and so I always have this cup of water, not any close to my keyboard, because I've ruined already 2 keyboards with spilling water into them. That's my 3rd one. So don't, please. I keep it, and so yes, after each exercise I play, I stand up, I walk a little bit towards my glass of water, I drink it, and I go back. This gives me a little break mentally, and also satisfies my need of drinking water. You can do that as well. But these are already like very personal tips here. And what you said actually about pinky, of course you can't much develop it in scales or arpeggios, but you can greatly develop it in chords. Actually, the feeling of this arch, this kind of frame in your muscle, that you have strong muscle here and here, this is what actually gives you a feeling of stability when you play on the piano. And that's why I actually, another my personal tip, sometimes when I don't have much time, I only make warm-up exercises with scales and octaves, because that's all I need really. Develop independency for each finger here, but also the strength in my arch.
Let's start with scales. C major, piano, staccato. Engage pulse, yeah. So.
Very good. Even here you can use double swing. Use double swing everywhere for every exercise. Do you want to try maybe F major?
Descending. Okay. Why not? I'm doing something strange.
No, this is good. Actually, in the beginning you were lifting your fingers without rhythm, but then after a few notes you adjusted it to this second pulse, and that was good. I like it all very good. Well, you're doing everything very good. I love your staccato, I love your legato and forte. The only correction is slower and softer or louder, because this will, you know, without it it's like a 50% efficiency, but with it it's 100%. It's a different level. This is good. And let's go back with legato and forte. Take your time, imagine first. Okay, so here now I have a correction, a real correction. When you play legato and forte on the circle note, let go of the key much faster. So you were doing this, but you can go. So you move your elbow right away. Because if you hold on and then you restrict your elbow, this will start creating tension. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah, double swing, so good. Staccato. You can continue with D major if you want. Lift your fingers. You stop lifting your fingers. Yeah, exactly. Because this is what I was missing. Keep missing the notes, I'm distracted. Okay, and what you were doing, you were doing like this, so yeah, make sure that, I guess you don't curl them. You really make this up, so it's straight. I guess that's what I do. There was something, I wanted to say also, you didn't have it, but sometimes you might have that. If you start feeling that you're playing vertical a lot, and you feel here tension, that means the sound movement in your imagination is gone, or not long enough. So instead of this, just note like that, you imagine. Make sure that it's to the right. And then when you do to the right, then naturally the hand will follow.
Not in staccato, but in my imagination goes glissando all the time, even when I play staccato.
With the direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's correct, that's correct. All right, let's go to octaves now, it's fun. Can I just check something? Okay, so unlike playing Forte, when we play piano, the lower we keep our fingers, the better. So make sure that when you play piano, especially in octaves, look at the thumb here. It never goes like this, even for a second. It's just kind of crawling on the key. It's still there. Yeah, so make sure you don't do that. Again, if you do that in piano, that will actually reduce the tension. And we want to really feel it all here. Yeah. The same here, you can make double swing on piano, remember. I like it. Let's go to Forte legato. Yes, this is generally good. I can see that your left hand is catching up with this new understanding of when to lift your fingers. Sometimes the finger in the left hand kind of goes, sometimes you don't raise them, sometimes if you raise them, you don't raise them exactly on the second beat. But otherwise I think you're good. You just need some time to digest this. Yeah, I think it's fine. Do you see the difference? I didn't see it. I think that's what you do. I think you could definitely, now that I look at the camera and myself, you can definitely raise. You see how, like a screenshot here, like hi. I think in the left hand at least, you were only raising it like till here maybe. So just to raise again, try to raise it. I only imagine 4 notes. I imagine the sounds for this finger, this finger, this finger, and that finger. And that's what I'm preparing for. I'm preparing for 4 sounds which are under these fingers. And so naturally these fingers have more impulse. You know? I'm not thinking about lifting all the fingers because I'm not playing with all the fingers, you know. Maybe in the chords it would make more sense. But I really feel I just have my target here. I'm imagining 4 notes with movement to the left, you know, and I play that. The next 4 notes, and I play them, you know. That's why I don't think about what's happening in the middle. have to double check something. Let me just play. I have a guess. Well, I need to see how it looks when I play. Yeah, that's what I thought. Especially in your left hand, when you play, your left hand stays in the same way. Maybe it moves a little bit, but you don't close your hand. And that creates accumulative tension. So this is what you did. And this is what we need. Close it. Close it. Yeah. Focus on intonation of staccato. This is good. This is much better. This is much better. Forte and legato. Well, as legato as we can. So, right. So you can, you know. Well, let's see. And the difference between this and staccato is just with staccato you are much more active, I guess, with your fingers. And again, even here, I'm not even sure if I'm opening all the fingers. Did you see in the video? I don't think I did that when I played chords. I did a little bit. Yeah, I think it's more like that, but I never went that way. Yeah, it's again just what I need to express. I think that's okay. We can still check later. Very well, very well. Made me happy to see everything.